Hi everyone, the setup you are seeing below is my setup of 30 cooling systems per minute. But in today's video I am just showing the short version of what I did. As you can see, I haven't connected anything to power and just kept the entire setup ready. This is because I will be doing the connection in a separate video and will upload separately. This is just a small information or a teaser video, so that it becomes easier in case you are checking out the full video when it comes out. So, let's just jump right into it. This is my setup here excluding copper as it doesn't require much to make. And this small setup tells everything I am doing below in the big setup which you are seeing now. So for making this 30 cooling systems, I am using the original recipe of cooling systems in my blender. I could have used the alternate recipe which would have been easier and would have taken less time. But I wanted to go with recipe because, for the purpose of getting a steel factory running, I opted the recipe having rubber. Since I brought crude oil I was able to amass petroleum coke, which is useful to make steel factory. That is my next step, but for this video, let's stick with the cooling systems. For the first resource I am showing the rubber setup. First, I am bringing the crude oil and using alternate heavy oil residue recipe. I am converting all the crude oil into heavy oil residue and byproduct as resin. Using the heavy oil residue which I got from previous step, I am converting it into petroleum coke. Like I said, I am going to use it for steel and for this cooling system recipe as well. This I will explain soon. The byproduct resin which we got from step 1, I am using it in the step 3 to make rubber. I am using residual rubber recipe along with water to make the first resource needed for cooling system. Now one of the resource, rubber, is done. Now for the second resource, heat sinks, I am using sloppy alumina recipe to convert bauxite and water to alumina solution. I am bringing in extra, to store excess Alclad ALuminium sheets, as they are used for Tier 5 belts. Now this is step 5, where we are using the alumina solution created in step 4, I am using that and the petroleum coke which we got from step 2, to make aluminium scrap. This recipe is an alternate called electrode aluminium scrap. So, in general it takes alumina and petroleum coke to make the scraps. Now for the step 6, we take the aluminium scraps made in step 5 into a smelter. Here we use pure aluminium ingot alternate recipe and make aluminium ingots. Now in the step 7, we take aluminium ingots and copper ingots which I do separately to make Alclad aluminium sheets using the normal recipe called Alclad aluminium sheet. And in step 8, we use the Alclad aluminium sheets and copper sheets to make heat sinks. Here I am using the normal heat sink recipe. As for the copper, I am bringing it and using the pure copper ingot recipe in refinery to make copper ingots. One part is sent to make Alclad aluminium sheets and the other to make copper sheets, which then is used to make heat sinks. So, finally we have made the second resource which is the heat sinks and I am feeding it to the blenders. For the other two resource, I am bringing it directly and feeding it to blenders. As you can see here, I am bringing in nitrogen gas from this location to my base location. And for the fourth resource which is water, I am bringing it from the water next to the nitrogen gas node. The pipes which you see in the distance are the nitrogen gas and water needed by this entire recipe. The blueprint which you are seeing in the distance is where I am making 30 radio control unit. And each blueprint is making 3.75 radio control unit, and I have 8 of them, so 30 in total. I could have done this setup in multiple blueprint, but I wanted to make this as compact as I can and this will be my second to last resource I make in this floor of my starting base. I made it this way, so that I don't want my base to expand even more in size. I will add more floors in future. This is not a very difficult setup and I chose to make only 30 cooling systems. I don't know if this amount is enough in the future, but as of now, I have planned to make only 30 of them. I chose this specific number because, as I said before, I am making 30 radio control unit. And I plan to use an alternate recipe to make supercomputer, which takes 9 radio control unit and 9 cooling systems to make 3 supercomputers per minute. In total, 27 radio control unit and 27 cooling systems to make 9 supercomputers. Once again, I don't know if this is going to be enough, but do let me know in comments. So, this is it for this video. I wanted to give you an update on what I am doing currently. I will see you in the next video, where I make the setup which you see here operational. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to my channel for more content in the future. Goodbye for now.